You understand? He's going to give them enough information, whereas that it's going to make him look like the choir boy.
But Ashton Kutcher was also involved with Abercrombie and Fitch. I think it's Mr. Jeffries who's just been done for trafficking.
Ashton Kutcher has reportedly been subpoenaed to testify against Diddy, intensifying the drama surrounding the case. Meanwhile, speculation is growing that he may be considering leaving the country, much like Ellen was rumored to have done.
Puffy, or Diddy, have been friends for decades. And they've done movies together, they've hung out together, and he can't say anything. Because he's one of those guys, remember I did that story last week, like, where are all Diddy's friends? Because the silence is deafening. A lot of them don't want people looking into their closet, but Ashton doesn't want the blowback that he got with Danny Masterson.
Right, so pretty tepid in how they reply. In the meantime, we're hearing Diddy's ex, Cassie, is cooperating with the feds during this investigation.
100%.
What more is she saying, Paula?
She's not saying anything. So here's the deal. She had sued him for sex trafficking, a bunch of horrible laundry list of stuff. And he settled. It's the one case he settled. It's the first case he settled it. I'm hearing for around $30 million. However, just because you settle a case, you may have an NDA, but if the feds come a knocking, you better answer.
They could subpoena Ashton Kutcher to provide information, right? And that's something we have been wondering. A big talking point is, well, why didn't that you have these federal agents that swarm these properties? Sometimes a raid like that is in conjunction with an indictment and arrest. Here, it's not the case. I'm of the opinion they're still in the evidence gathering phase. They have to process everything that was recovered from the homes, but I also was suspecting that they're issuing subpoenas to a lot of people right now to get a better understanding of what that looks like. And if that's the case, and Ashton Kutcher was issued a subpoena, then no wonder he wouldn't be saying anything about Diddy right now either, right?
Well, that's right. And, let's underline the significance of those raids, okay? We have the Fourth Amendment that says that unreasonable searches and seizures are prohibited in this country. Federal agents can't simply legally barge into someone's home without having persuaded a judge to issue a warrant, to sign off on a warrant application. So, that's, and it's not something that you do early on in an investigation if you don't have enough support.
Ashton Kutcher has long been surrounded by controversy, particularly due to his past association with convicted offender Danny Masterson. Masterson was charged in 2020 with 3 counts of assault, based on allegations from 3 women who claimed he attacked them between 2001 and 2003 on set. He was later sentenced to 30 years to life in prison. After his conviction, Kutcher and Mila Kunis faced intense backlash for writing letters to the judge advocating for a more lenient sentence.
More backlash today for Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis after their video explaining why they wrote letters of support for convicted rapist Danny Masterson. The actors were criticized for calling their former co-star a role model, among other things. And the consensus is that video didn't help.
We are aware of the pain.
Fierce backlash today for Ashton Kutcher and wife Mila Kunis. They apologized for the character letter, calling That 70s Show star Danny Masterson an outstanding role model and exceptional older brother figure with a caring nature.
A couple months ago, Danny's family reached out to us and they asked us to write character letters to represent the person that we knew for 25 years. So that the judge could take that into full consideration relative to the sentencing.
The letters were not written to question the legitimacy of the judicial system or the validity of the jury's ruling.
They were intended for the judge to read, and we're sorry.
One of the women Masterson was sentenced last week of raping, known only as Jane Doe number 1, is slamming their apology. This video was incredibly insulting and hurtful. Chrissy Bixler, another Masterson accuser, blasted Kutcher. In my opinion, you're just as sick as your mentor, referring to Masterson.
That 70s Show star Danny Masterson is behind bars and will be for a long, long time. If you did not hear the news, he was sentenced yesterday for a case, 2 weeks actually, and got 30 years to life. And there are already concerns about his mental state. As he has begun serving his time, he was remanded immediately in court, and now police are concerned.
They are watching him.
Side watch.
Knowledge that standing by Danny Masterson was one of his biggest mistakes and has since expressed deep regret for his actions.
Any comments?
Over 5 years after Danny Masterson's rape allegations surfaced, his former That 70s Show co-star Ashton Kutcher breaks his silence. The actor opens up to Esquire. In short, it's complicated. Kutcher wants Masterson to be found innocent of the charges brought against him, but at the same time doesn't want his friend to get off the hook. Quote, "I wholesale feel for anybody who feels like they were violated in any way." In 2017, Masterson was hit with multiple sexual assault accusations, which he denied. At the time, he and Kutcher were co-stars on another sitcom, The Ranch.
What are you talking about?
When you sit with your friends and you know when their sentences are
about to end.
In the wake of the allegations, Netflix fired Masterson. His character Rooster written off.
So you got two choices. Either take that bag and disappear, or you could just disappear.
In 2020, he was charged with sexually assaulting 3 women between 2001 and 2003. As Kutcher sees it, ultimately, I can't know. I'm not the judge, I'm not the jury, I'm not the DA, I'm not the victim, and I'm not the accused. With that in mind, Kutcher concludes, "I don't have a space to comment, I just don't know."
Ashton Kutcher's controversies don't end there. In 2019, he was linked to a murder case involving a woman he was supposed to meet just hours before her death. Kutcher admitted to visiting her home and noticing what he initially thought was spilled wine on the carpet, later revealed to be blood. While he has denied any involvement, lingering questions remain, especially since he reportedly reached out to his manager for guidance immediately after the incident.
And when I checked him on some of the stuff that he did.
What about Ashton Kutcher? Because Ashton Kutcher, who I believe could possibly just as bad, Ashton Kutcher as well, listen, he's not guilty of this, but he arranged a date. He was late for that date. And when he got to the girl's house, he looked through the window. She was stabbed 47 times. The man ended up getting charged, but Ashton Kutcher was also involved with Abercrombie and Fitch. I think it's Mr. Jeffries who's just been done for trafficking. Ashton Kutcher was also friends with Brittany Murphy, who also was friends with P. Diddy, who also died the same death as Kim Porter. Now, Ashton Kutcher as well also runs a child protection thing, I think it's called Fawn, where he's trying to save children. But we know now a lot of these people use this thing for child trafficking to actually not expose it, but to gain from their own benefit. He was also married to Demi Moore, and there was a video of Demi Moore kissing a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old boy. I just feel as if there's a lot of darkness around these people. I feel as if they feel as if they're untouchable. I genuinely think he could be next Ashton Kutcher. Am I wrong here, or could this be right?
Her name was Ashley Ellen, and they were actually going on a date the night that she was found dead. Ashton Kutcher told the court that he screwed up on the night that his girlfriend was horrifically murdered. He told the judge that he was freaking out after learning that Ashley was butchered the same evening they were due to go on a date. Ashton even saw his date's blood splattered on the carpet, which he put down to a red wine stain when he was looking through the window trying to check if she was home, because her car was there, the lights were on, yet she wasn't answering the door. Ashley was a fashion student, and she actually met Ashton at a Christmas party, but at that point he was in a relationship. Once he became single, he called her up and asked her to go out, because Danny Masterson's accuser details an alleged call with Ashton Kutcher the night his date was murdered. Chrissy wrote in a statement on Instagram, "Dear Ashton, I know the secrets your role model keeps for you, ones that will end you. Did you forget I was there? You were on speaker that night you called Danny on February 21st, 2001. I heard everything. I heard the plan. In my opinion, you're just as sick as your mentor." And that was the day that Ashley lost her life. So why did Ashton call Danny, and what did he have to tell him?
This guy, Michael, the serial killer, was able to go do it again because the cops weren't able to actually process the case because they knew Ashton Kutcher was indeed lying. So what was he lying about? Well, here's Chrissy Bixler, who's coming in, who was dating Danny Masterson at the time. You actually know your secrets, your role model keeps for you, ones that would end you. Did you forget I was there? You were on speakerphone the night you called Danny on February 21st, 2001. I heard everything. I heard the plan. In my opinion, you're just as sick as your mentor. Now, what was this plan? Yes, he was in his car for over an hour outside of Ashley's house, speaking with his manager about what to do to protect Ashton's career and reputation. He then called Danny. I heard the entire conversation. Law enforcement was and is aware that what I'm saying is true.
His friendship with Diddy dates back nearly 2 decades, and some of the most disturbing allegations against Diddy reportedly implicate Kutcher as well. In 2003, he allegedly invited 13-year-old DeVay Chase to one of Diddy's notorious after-parties. Multiple lawsuits have since emerged regarding that event, raising questions about how much Kutcher knew and whether he was aware of what was taking place.
Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, can't tell that one either. I mean, I'm like actually cycling through them. There was one moment, so it's not really a party story, but our relationship was really bizarre. So it started over punked, because he was like, yo,
don't punk
you
me.
can't punk me. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you, everybody's on the table. He's like, not me, I'm off the table. And so that started our conversation. We became fast friends, and we used to just hang out and watch football together.
Ashton Kutcher appeared to anticipate that his connection to Diddy would eventually be exposed, carefully curating a public image to create distance. However, that facade is now unraveling, and public perception of him is shifting. Sources close to Diddy have come forward, claiming that both he and Kutcher played a role in what happened behind closed doors.
A freak? I would say you're definitely a freak.
I heard some wild stories. I heard he had like.
We all heard that.
Yeah, you know.
But then, come on, I want to hear what you heard.
I mean, I heard that he had this dude Ashton Kutcher bent over.
Now I'm gonna tell you the truth. Him and Ashton Kutcher was really tight. We used to go to his crib. He had a penthouse on 74th and 8th Avenue in Central Park West.
My day job is as the chairman and the co-founder of Thorn. We build software to fight human trafficking and the sexual exploitation of children. That's our core mission. My other day job is that of the father of 2, a 2-month-old and a 2-year-old. And as part of that job that I take very seriously, I believe that it is my effort to defend their right to pursue happiness and to ensure a society and government that defends it as well. But the right to pursue happiness for so many is stripped away. It's raped. It's abused. It's taken by force, fraud, or coercion. It is sold for the momentary happiness of another. I've seen video content of a child that's the same age as mine being raped by an American man that was a sex tourist in Cambodia. And this child was so conditioned by her environment that she thought she was engaging in play.
As allegations against Ashton Kutcher continue to mount, reports suggest that Mila Kunis is contemplating divorce or even relocating to Europe. Meanwhile, Diddy seems to be keeping a close watch on those trying to distance themselves. In a recently leaked call, he allegedly named everyone attempting to leave the US, making it clear that no one, not even Ashton Kutcher or Ellen, can escape him no matter where they go.
Rumors then began to swirl that the actor and his wife might be heading towards a breakup. However, a source slammed the split speculation, telling People Wednesday this is absolutely ridiculous and false. Meanwhile, another source appeared to clarify to the outlet about Ashton and the rapper's bond, saying, Ashton has no involvement in any of this. He doesn't belong in this conversation about Diddy. Ashton has only seen Diddy in a handful of social and business events, all of which have been documented by the media. Diddy was arrested last week in New York on charges of sex trafficking, racketeering conspiracy, and transportation to engage in prostitution. He pleaded not guilty but was denied bail.
You think I wasn't gonna get at you from the inside?
He has reached out to a witness, an alleged participant in multiple freak-offs.
Then why Oprah staying quiet? Why Ellen moving to another country?
He's asking people to intimidate witnesses or pay people off.
Don't be shocked if nobody show up to testify. Don't contact me anymore, pup. I already got that Houston lawyer breathing down my neck over that 13-year-old girl. If you don't want things to get worse for you, then you need to start answering my son's phone call.
The defendant's goal is to blackmail victims and witnesses either into silence or providing testimony helpful to his defense.
New York is having a problem with leaks in this Diddy case, with alleged video of the court hearings already on the internet and leaked phone calls where he's calling witnesses. Things are getting out of control. You won't believe what he says on these calls. Recently, the DA released that Diddy was contacting witnesses from jail, and they were saying this is the reason that he shouldn't get bail. He was using other inmates' phone calls to three-way people who would then call the witnesses, and that's who he spoke to over the phone. Also, in a weird turn of events, the DA who brought these charges against Diddy is suddenly resigning from his position during the biggest case of his career, and that is strange. So let's break down this insane phone call that we found online. Legal disclaimer, people, I'm just a guy that reacts to stuff I find on the internet. So as of right now, everything is rumors, gossip, or opinions of others. Everything in this video is just alleged.
Speculated that Ellen DeGeneres may have left the U.S. not just because of Trump's victory, but also due to her connections with Diddy. Once a close friend of his, Ellen fled to England shortly after his arrest and even changed her appearance, possibly in an effort to remain unnoticed.
The latest on Sean Diddy Combs, prosecutors are accusing Combs of trying to contact prospective witnesses and obstruct the case against him. Our senior investigative correspondent, Aaron Katursky, is here with more on that. Good morning to you, Aaron.
Good morning, Robin. Sean Combs going to be asking a judge this week to release him on bail, but prosecutors now say the argument for detention has only gotten stronger. This morning, federal prosecutors are accusing Sean Diddy Combs of escalating his attempts to influence the jury pool and subvert his criminal case. Almost immediately after arriving at the federal jail in Brooklyn, prosecutors say Combs started using telephone accounts of at least 8 other inmates to call people not on his approved contact list. Prosecutors allege Combs frequently instructs family members and his attorneys to add other individuals via three-way call, which is not allowed. On some of those calls, prosecutors say Combs is explicit about his intention to use public statements to sway potential jurors, including this Instagram post by Diddy's kids.
Happy birthday to Daddy.
Prosecutors say Combs enlisted family members to plan and execute a social media campaign around the defendant's birthday, the first time we heard his voice from behind bars.
Thank y'all for being strong and thank y'all for being by my side and supporting me. I love y'all. I got the best family in the world.
Prosecutors say Combs then monitored audience engagement from the video.
Ellen DeGeneres is saying goodbye to the USA. Multiple outlets are reporting that the comedian and wife Portia de Rossi are bidding farewell to the United States and are moving across the pond to rural England. Reports say the couple was driven to their decision after the election of Donald Trump, though had put the wheels in motion prior to Election Day. Ellen previously voiced her support for Kamala Harris on Instagram, posting back in August, "There's nothing more powerful than a woman whose time has come. I can't wait for Kamala Harris to be our next president." Ellen and Portia are said to be getting ready to put their primary residence on the market. The home is in Montecito, California, and the two purchased the estate back in 2019. The stand-up comedian previously opened up about being, quote, kicked out of Hollywood during a recent Netflix special, referencing the toxic workplace allegations that dogged her daytime talk show prior to her exit from TV.
It's not just Diddy's friends who are backing away. His lawyer, Anthony Rico, has officially filed a motion to withdraw from the case. As a renowned death penalty attorney, his departure raises serious questions. Rico cited discussions with Diddy's lead counsel, Mark Agnifilo, and made it clear that with everything unraveling, saving Diddy is simply not possible.
He's doing fine. It's a difficult circumstance. He's making the best of the situation.
A situation one of Diddy's attorneys won't be part of moving forward. Anthony Rico announcing in court docs, under no circumstances can he continue defending the embattled rapper.
This is a serious proceeding with serious consequences, and all of us are addressing it accordingly.
In a motion filed on Thursday, Rico stopped short of revealing why he's stepping down from Diddy's legal team, just months ahead of the music mogul's scheduled trial date in May for sex trafficking and racketeering charges, all of which Diddy's denied.
You know, Dr. King called it the law of unintended consequences. So sometimes the more you push a person down, the stronger they get.
That's Rico speaking up late last year for his now former client. ET's learned the attorney's exit will not affect Diddy's other attorneys, nor their defense strategy.
I told Mr. Combs I'm going to try and get his case to trial as quickly as possible. He has been ready to defend this case since he first found out about this case. Nothing has changed from his perspective.
We're going to head by my party. They're going to be shutting them down. They're going to probably be arresting me.
After Diddy was arrested, Rico said he provided a high level of legal representation. But now, for reasons unknown, he can under no circumstances effectively serve in the upcoming trial.
Diddy is pulling out all the stops to avoid justice, including trying to suppress key evidence. His legal team argues that the search warrants used to seize evidence from his properties were unconstitutional, claiming the probable cause statements were misleading and that critical details were withheld from the judges who approved them. If the court sides with this argument, Diddy could have a serious chance of walking free.
Now to Sean Diddy Combs, looking to suppress evidence in his federal trial. Senior investigative correspondent Aaron Kutcher is back with the story. Good morning again, Aaron.
And to you, Michael, you'll remember federal agents from Homeland Security investigations were hardly shy when they raided Sean Combs' opulent homes in Los Angeles and Miami, guns drawn. The jailed music mogul now argues those searches and other searches of his iCloud accounts, electronic devices, and New York City hotel room following his arrest were unconstitutional. His lawyers argue evidence obtained through those searches must be suppressed. Diddy's lawyers say the government presented a grossly distorted picture of reality when applying for the search warrants, omitting certain facts and including salacious details from an unnamed producer that were never credible. Combs has pleaded not guilty to racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and prostitution charges. The defense is also arguing here his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, was a willing participant in fueled sex performances called freak-offs, not coerced as prosecutors allege. This latest challenge to his case comes 3 months before trial, and as Combs loses one of his attorneys, Anthony Rico says under no circumstances can he continue to represent Combs. He offered no details about that decision, Robin.
Okay. All right, thanks to you, Aaron.
Ashton Kutcher's freedom may be at risk, as insiders connected to Diddy suggest he could face prison if all the evidence is revealed. Allegedly, some of these tapes have already been presented in court as part of a separate case. Courtney Burgess, CEO of Alter Ego Records, claims he was summoned to testify in a federal trial and has handed over 8 freak-off tapes to the FBI.
Have you shown these tapes?
100%.
Will they have to watch it in court? Like during
100% in court in front of a room of people. And so that's the other thing that's awful. They are going to be watching basically porn for hours on end in front of people. So in front of victim one, whoever it may be, there's going to be porno played in the federal courtroom.
And victim one would have been made aware of this.
Oh, 100%. She's probably being told right now, like, this is going to be played in open court. Your sex history, your sex life is going to be talked about in open court. All of this.
And presumably then she knows that and she's pushing forward because she hasn't withdrawn.
But don't forget this. It doesn't matter if she does or she doesn't. This isn't the civil case. This is the criminal case. So she could flat out tell the federal government, I don't want to participate. And they can say, we don't care. This is a crime. Crimes are against the United States, not against them. Keep calling her victim one, but don't forget, she's a witness to a crime. So it doesn't matter if she went to them in today and said, I'm not participating. Their response, we don't care. Get you on the stand.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I just heard about that. But you heard about the reports that Ashton Kutcher, he's worried that Diddy might lie on his friends? You heard about that?
But that's what I've been saying. I said, if the federal government wanted somebody more than they want Diddy, if he has some information about some people that they would rather have other than him, he's able to get that information to them. But they gotta want it. They gotta want it. And Ashton Kutcher and him they were real tight. One time, me, him, Ashton Kutcher went to a Nets game and we met Jay-Z there. You know what I'm saying? So they were close, they was cool.
But you think Diddy would do something like that? Lie on other celebrities?
Well, why would it have to be a lie? Because if he get caught in he gonna be as truthful as possible. You understand? He's gonna give them enough information, whereas that it's gonna make him look like the choir boy. So Ashton Kutcher, he has a right to be kind of alarmed if he was doing things with Diddy. Remember they used to have that group called the what do they call it? The Brat Pack? With Diddy, him, and a couple other guys was hanging out. Leonardo, one other guy too. I forgot the other guy's name. So they all might be worried.
For him to come out with that comment, I mean, that is suspect. It sounds like he's worried that Diddy might give up some information.
That's why. That's why he made that statement. To set it up. To set up the atmosphere that, yo, this guy's gonna lie on us. This guy ain't gonna tell the truth on us. But what we know is that wherever Diddy went, his tape recorders went. His camera equipment was working. He was videotaping everything. So they might have that videotape already.
Ashton Kutcher's ex-wife, Demi Moore, has also faced scrutiny over her past actions. Despite her own experiences with childhood abuse, she has been accused of inappropriate behavior. A resurfaced video from 1982 shows Moore kissing her former General Hospital co-star, Philip Tanzini, when he was just 14 years old. In the footage, she can be heard saying, "I love Philip, he's one of my most favorite people," while engaging in the questionable interaction.
Okay, one more time. Why do you think everybody's come out? I don't know. Maybe just because I love them all and I hope they all love me. We do love them. And I love them.
If you think it's for publicity, you're out of your mind.
Absolutely, because he's one of my most favorite people.
Have you been working on the show?
Almost a month and a half.
What's your role?
I'm Luke's new love. And I'm Philip Tanzini, and I play Jeremy. You're stealing my part. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Because I love Philip, and he's the only one I love. Do your interview already. All right. I'm Luke's new love, but personally, I love Philip. And that's it, okay? We got our new storyline. I want to say happy birthday to Philip because I love him dearly. He's one of my most favorite people. For about 3 weeks. And he's been terrific.
As an anxious teen, she is taken by her mother to bars so that men will notice them. She's 15 when she comes home one night and an older man they know is in the apartment with the key. She writes, it was rape and a devastating betrayal, revealed by the man's cruel question, how does it feel to be whored by your mother for $500?
Do you believe she sold you?
I think in my deep heart, no. I don't think it was a straightforward transaction, but she still did give him the access and put me in harm's way.
As the Diddy investigation continues to unfold, more high-profile names are being dragged into the controversy, including Ashton Kutcher. While there's no official confirmation that he's under investigation, his past associations and resurfaced scandals are raising serious concerns. Whether he escapes unscathed or becomes entangled in legal trouble remains to be seen. One thing is certain, this story is far from over, and even more shocking revelations may still emerge.